Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the PreStream podcast. I am DSP, and I welcome you here to my final consecutive streaming day of the week. Indeed, today is Sunday, the 16th of January, 2022. We are heading into the second half of January, and it's been a very interesting and fun month so far, but not really for new release reasons or anything like that. It's because all the playthroughs that I've been doing this month have been throwbacks, callbacks, return to things from the past that people really, really liked when I played them, or in some cases, returning to games from the past like Condemned that I never really played. I gave them a shot, didn't like it, and then I went back to them later and enjoyed them, and now I'm finally getting to them. So, it's been a great month in my opinion. The whole first half of this month has been outstanding. I've been having a great time. I can't wait for what's coming. In fact, major segment of the pre-stream today, we're going to be talking about the next week and how this week is going to be opportunity to maybe try out some fun stuff again that we'll see if it's something that's interesting for streams or not. But you know what? The truth is that when you have a month like January of 2022 where there's not a ton of new releases, it gives opportunity for those of us who enjoy the more social aspect of the streams to really enjoy ourselves, right? Because let's face it, when I'm in the midst of total nonstop new releases, there's a lot of faces who come around who maybe aren't usually around, right? They come by because they want to check out the new releases and they're here for the streams and the videos, but they're not necessarily the people that are here to chill every day. They're just here for the new release stuff, and that's fine. I really appreciate when I'm playing a hot new release and we get a big increase in viewership and support, and you notice these people who aren't usually here coming to check that stuff out. That's great, right? But I really feel now that the key to being a successful content creator is actually not only having that, but also having a consistent viewer base of people who want to come chill when there's nothing going on in the realm of new releases. You know what I'm saying? Like, as long as we are able to have a good, relaxing time with games, have a great social interaction, fun conversation, and just be chill with each other while we're enjoying our games that are our hobby, right? Then that's what it's all about. And I'm glad that I'm not in a little quarter of the industry where basically we only have to play the one thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I only covered first-person shooters, or if I only covered competitive fighting games, and now when it's dead and there's nothing going on because there's no new releases, it's like, wow, boredom, right? I'm happy that I'm not just a freaking Battle Royale streamer where I got to make videos of us dressing up in banana suits doing conga line dances instead of playing the game because there's just nothing going on in the game. You know what I'm saying? So, I hope you guys are excited for what we're doing today, and of course what's coming up for the next couple of weeks, the rest of January. Let's talk a little bit about that, shall we, everyone? First of all, good morning. How you doing? Happy Sunday. Today is my final streaming day of the week. I'm off tomorrow, okay? But I will tell you this. I feel today is going to be one of the best streaming days in a while just because of the lineup today. Skyrim on the first stream, Resident Evil 4's main story concluding on the late stream. That is a good combination, and I didn't plan that. It's just kind of aligned that way with the way that stuff went this week with the streams. So I think it's going to be a very good streaming day. Great fun on the streams today. Okay. So before we get to that, welcome to the stream, everyone. If you are here live, I would ask that we get into the routine that when you join the stream, if you're enjoying yourself, please give the stream a like. By liking the live stream, it allows this stream to get into YouTube's search algorithm for people looking for, someone playing an open world RPG game, and maybe someone playing Elder Scrolls. Boom! I'll actually show up in search if this stream has enough likes. So if you're enjoying yourself, you're settling down for a nice pre-stream podcast today, you're looking forward to a good time, please give the stream a like. My goal for these streams is maybe to get around 100 likes per stream. That would be really good. I think if we can consistently get 100 likes on every stream that I do, that will give this channel a lot more visibility when it comes to YouTube searching for streams. So right now there's 174 people on the stream. If you're liking the stream, please give it a like. It will help tremendously. Okay, same thing. If you watch this pre-stream podcast on demand rather than live, giving this pre-stream podcast a like and maybe leaving a comment on it are also pieces of engagement that will help this channel overall get more exposure on YouTube. So please consider doing it if you're having a good time with it. Okay? All right. Now, let us talk about the schedule for the week. For today, it's going to be a great day. Skyrim Anniversary Edition on the first stream. Now, for those of you who were not around last time a few days ago, I goofed. I screwed up badly. Seriously, I did terribly. What did I do? I shouted. I raised my voice in town. And let me tell you guys something. That's a big naughty in the world of Skyrim. How dare you yell and scream? You're just, zip that lip. Zip. When I used to be in elementary school, that's what the teachers would say. Hey, you, see that lip? Give it a zip. Zip. Keep your mouth shut. We don't want to hear you talking. Shut your face, you little runt. That's what we would be told all the time. We would be called, you little scum, you little runt. Keep that mouth closed. You're going to talk? Here, have some tape. Tape your mouth. Okay, maybe that's a little extreme. But I did go to Catholic school with a bunch of nuns who would beat you with rosary beads. I'm not kidding. There was a nun who beat kids up with the rosary beads. But anyway, in Skyrim, do not shout at anyone in the town. I have learned my lesson because I tried it last time when an NPC decided to block the doorway entirely like an idiot. And I didn't know that apparently there's a mechanic in Skyrim that if you walk up to someone's face and get extremely close in their personal space, they kind of get freaked out and then they'll move. I didn't know that. So I thought I was stuck. So I yelled at them, "Foos row, you gotta go." And then they turned to me and said, "Oh, well, you gotta die." And they pulled out their weapons and started fighting me. Oh shit. Next thing I know, the whole town wants me dead. I'm like, Jesus, man. So I spent a good part of, 20 minutes trying to figure out how to stop this. And the answer that I've gotten over the last few days, by the way, thanks to everyone who reached out in the last few days, as I asked for, and gave me help. I got various responses allowing me to explain how this mechanic works in Skyrim based on your feedback. So apparently in Skyrim, there are some mechanics to aggroing NPCs, okay? If you pull out a weapon and you strike an NPC, all right? Or you steal or you do any of these things that basically would piss off an NPC. If you're inside of the guards and you then put your weapons away, the guard sees that as an act of non-aggression, like you're just de-escalating the situation. And basically they will then try to arrest you. If they arrest you, they take you to jail. They take all stolen items on your body. So if you ever stole anything in the game, food, potions, weapons, armor, it's gone. They confiscate all that shit. Then they charge you a fee to leave. Like bail money, I guess, right? Great. Okay? There's a problem with that. I didn't hit anyone with a weapon. I shouted. My voice was the weapon. As you know, my voice is very annoying. High-pitched, doesn't fit my body. Everyone tells me constantly that I sound like a small child whining and screaming for, I don't know, a chocolate pudding or something because they didn't get enough. And very nasally, very annoying, And so when I shout in Skyrim, people listen and they hear and their ears start to bleed and they get very upset with me. I can't, what do I do? How do I sheathe my mouth? Maybe I could put a mask on, right? But that doesn't work in Skyrim. There's nothing you can really do. So once you've done a shout, you're pretty fucked, okay? Now, apparently there's various things you could do. You could die. I've done that many times. That didn't really de-escalate much because I was dead. I couldn't continue my game. You could get away, which I did. Sadly, I couldn't seem to get them to de-aggro. So based on the situation that I'm in, from people who've played Skyrim many, many times, they basically said, you're kind of screwed right now. You really pissed off everyone in town. There isn't really anything you can do to get them not be pissed at you. So what I've been recommended is that I leave Falkreath for a while and come back later on in the playthrough. Basically, the best way to heal all wounds is time. And that's pretty symbolic and poetic, but at the same time, apparently in Skyrim, it's actually truthful and factual. If I leave Falkreath, someone said like maybe a few days, if not a week of in-game time, doing other quests and things and advancing the plot. And then later on I come back. What should happen is then the townspeople will not be aggroed to me anymore. But what will end up happening is the guards are all going to say something like, hey, I know you. You're that guy who caused trouble, so you got to pay the fee for what you did. So likely what will happen is I will eventually later on in the playthrough find a reason to go back to Falkreath for one reason or another, whether it's the main quest or something else. I don't really remember what else is there. And when I go back, then everyone will be calmed down, okay? And then they'll all, I'll be able to continue on with the stuff there. Now, some people have suggested, why don't you leave, have time advance like a week and go back? Well, that's no fun. the fuck is the point of wasting time advancement in fucking Skyrim? Dude, there's so much to do in Skyrim. Are you kidding me? There's so much content. I mean, definitely the one thing that's really annoying about Skyrim is, because I screwed up Falkreath, there's just nothing to do. I'll just have to stand around for days, right? There's no other towns to go to and no quests, right? It's just so boring. Yeah, right. I mean, come on. Why do I want to advance time and waste time when I could literally just go off and do a million other quests, have fun, and then later on in the game come back? That's what I'm going to do. I'm actually going to play it like real life and go do other shit and then come back at a later date. So, there you go. Let's see what happens. Now, that leaves me completely open today of what I want to do. What I'm thinking is I might want to advance the plot a little further, and here's why. Because I want to get the full shout. I want the full Fuz Ro Da. Right now I got the Fuz Ro, which will stun an enemy, but it's not super effective. When you get Fuz Ro Da, now you start kicking ass. You're blowing things on their butts. They're flying backwards off cliffs. It's really fun having the full shout. And I think that I want to advance the main plot enough so that I can actually do that and then have a really effective kind of supplementary combat weapon as opposed to just kind of having stinky breath and hit you with garlic smell, which is really what it is. I think what it is Jasper Kitty, he walks around with a big thing, a hunk of garlic. He goes, oh, Fuz Ro, and you're like, you're just stunned for half a second, and then you get back up and you fight again. I don't want that. I want them knocked on their butts. So that's what I'm thinking we'll do. I'm thinking we'll start off trying to get that horn. Isn't the horn of Yorn Caller or some weird shit, whatever it's called? We'll probably go do that. And then we'll unlock the shout, and then we'll go from there. Then I'll probably go back to side content, and we'll see, because by then I'll have gone to other areas and stuff. So we'll see what else we can find. And by the way, chances are when we're going to get that horn, we're going to run into 27 other things to do, and likely we're not even going to complete that quest today. I just know how Skyrim is, so we'll see. We'll see how it goes today, all right? So that's my plan for today. Try to get back on track with the main plot, see how it goes, and whatever we run into, great, okay? So it should be a fun stream. Now, tonight's late stream at 6:45 p.m. Pacific Standard Time will be the story-bound conclusion of Resident Evil 4. Does that mean I'm not playing Resident Evil 4 anymore? No. I am aware that Resident Evil 4 has post-game content. Apparently, it has a 2-hour epilogue mode starring Ada Wong that is kind of fun. A lot of people say it's pretty essential that you do it. It'd be pretty dumb if you don't, especially because it came with this version of the game. It wasn't like it's an add-on you have to spend more money for or anything. It's in it, so why not do it? But for all intents and purposes, tonight will be the conclusion of the main playthrough of Resident Evil 4, and if it is 2 hours, like people are saying, there'll be about 2 hours of gameplay left. That means the game's 20 hours long. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, wouldn't that make Resident Evil 4 actually the longest mainstream Resident Evil game, except maybe 6? Because I remember all the first 3 games are actually quite short. The catch is that you play them twice, right? Like Resident Evil 1 and 2, you play as either Chris and Jill, or then you play as Leon and Claire. So you always get double the content from a different perspective. Resident Evil 3, not so much. It's actually one of the shortest and one of the worst Resident Evils, in my opinion. And then Resident Evil 5, I don't think is 20 hours long, right? I don't remember it being that long. See, Resident Evil 6 is very lengthy. It's such a different animal. It doesn't even feel like Resident Evil. It's basically an action game that feels like a big blockbuster movie. It really feels that way with the production value and everything. It doesn't feel like it's survival horror at all. Instead, it's more like you're just blowing the shit out of all these enemies. You know, you're blowing their body parts off and everything. It's pretty crazy. So, tonight, we should finish up the major plot. And here's the thing. That makes a really great streaming day, don't you think? That's like the best of both worlds, because people have really enjoyed the open world chill of Skyrim so far. But man, people have enjoyed the return to classic survival horror Resident Evil 4. It's only my second time playing it. It's been 8 years, so both playthroughs are great. I've been having a great time, and I hope that you guys are enjoying the playthrough as well, and you'll join me tonight for the big finale before my day off tomorrow, okay? So great day of streaming. Now, tomorrow, I'm off from streaming. Boy, I cannot wait to go to that garbage dump and throw out like 5 to 6 ginormous bags of trash that have been sitting in my fucking garage for the past month, because we still don't have garbage removal. Yes, I'm serious. We still don't have garbage removal in Washington. It's still been not happening. The only thing they've done is they said, oh, if you can get out of your house between like 8 a.m. and 1 p.m. today, and you drive to some fucking park across town you never heard of, and you enter from a certain entrance only, then you can dump the trash. It's actually funny because someone in my community did it, and they were like, yeah, so I went and I had to wait an hour in line in my car to drop off my trash because everyone's trying to do it because no one got their garbage removed in the last month here. And then once you get there, it's confusing. There's a giant line all around the block. You don't even know if you're properly in line or not. And it's just a fucking pain in the ass. It's not worth it. Sorry, I don't have an hour to sit around in my car every day to go drop off my trash that I paid to have removed. I have to stream and work. So tomorrow morning, on my day off, I'm going to the garbage dump and paying to throw out my trash that I already should have had removed a month ago. Isn't that nice? But anyway, I'll likely do other stuff too that hopefully will be fun, and I'll let you know when I come back on Tuesday how my day off went. Speaking of Tuesday, I'm returning full force, of course, with a great week of streaming, so let's outline what I'll be doing coming this week. On Tuesday the 18th, it'll be Condemned Criminal Origins, continuing and likely concluding on the first gameplay stream. From what I'm to understand, basically there's about 3 hours left in the game. There's 3 chapters left, and each chapter is about an hour, give or take, depending on the chapter, because some are shorter. But I should beat it on Tuesday's main gameplay stream, which will be kind of fun. You know, this is a launch Xbox 360 title. I like it way more than I thought I would. Now that I've played it at length, I think it's quite a good game. I'm actually being told the final stages of Condemned are crazy. Like, I mean, like, over the top, ridiculous, zany, what the hell? That's what I'm being told. So, I guess we'll see on Tuesday. Then Tuesday night, it's my weekly late night chill stream of post-game content in Lost Judgment. What we're going to be doing is any missions that are left over from my playthrough that I didn't complete, including, I think there's a mission with a very angry teacher. There's a mission with the ninja that's an American. There's all the squirrel missions throughout town that we still have to find, the hidden squirrels. There's also VR missions that we have to do. So there's a lot left to do in the game, and these streams are really fun because they're just very relaxing. All you do is you run around town, you're doing random fights, you're doing random quests. Some of them are pretty funny with the plot. And we have a lot of conversation and interaction during these streams, so I hope you will join me for that on Tuesday night. Then on Wednesday the 19th, Skyrim will continue as the main gameplay stream. That stream at night will be more Resident Evil 4. On that late stream, on Wednesday, I'll be doing the post-game Ada Wong, I guess it's called Operation Ada or something like that. I'll be doing that 2 hours of gameplay on that late night stream. So today is Skyrim and Resident Evil 4, and incidentally, Wednesday is also Skyrim and Resident Evil 4. Okay? Then on Thursday the 20th, we have a new game release. Holy shit, they're still making games? I know. It's been a while. We actually have a new game release to check out. Luckily for me, it's on Game Pass, meaning I don't have to drop any money to play this thing. Because quite frankly, I'm not, excuse me, I'm not convinced it's very good. The game is called Rainbow Six Extraction. So this is a game with co-op, mechanics. You team up with your buds online or randoms in a party. And essentially, you are trying to survive against waves of zombie hordes, okay? A game where you team up with other people to survive against waves of zombie hordes. It's almost like I kind of feel like we did something like that recently. Can't quite put my finger. What's this on my back? Blood. There's blood on my back. I think you know what I'm alluding to. But the point I'm making is, zombie games, number one, aren't very prominent anymore. Let's be honest. There was a time when zombie games were very prominent, about 10 to 15 years ago. Now, there are almost no zombie games. The ones that come out are kind of underwhelming. Just take a look at Back 4 Blood from a few months ago, where even though everything kind of pointed to it would be a good game, you play through it once and you're kind of like, meh, right? You don't ever want to go back to it. It doesn't have that addictive appeal like Left 4 Dead did back in the day. So when you tell me, it's Rainbow Six with zombies, I'm like, wow. Great. I don't know, like, I am the least bit hyped for this game. But it's Game Pass, so I will check it out. We'll give it a shot. We'll play it as the stream. We'll see if it's any good. If it's good, well, then I'll be surprised. Maybe I'll add it to the rotation of ongoing games. But if it's bad, we don't have to play it ever again. So let's see how it goes on Thursday. Okay? Thursday night, Halo Infinite multiplayer. Now, last night I played Halo Infinite multiplayer on the late stream. That was the ultimate mixed bag experience. The whole first half of the stream was terrible. I don't know if it was because I was playing on a busy Saturday night and there were just way more people playing, which meant that there was just way worse connections. But my God, it was like the hit detection was fucking shit. I couldn't maintain a shot at all because the controls were so delayed. I could barely kill anyone. A lot of the times I'm right in front of someone, I melee, and then the game teleports me back 2 steps and the melee whiffs. Well, what the fuck happened there? It was really frustrating. And then finally in the second half, my second hour of gameplay, the matches started to kind of level out, and I ended up actually doing some really good matches near the end where I kicked ass. But it's very frustrating when you're playing a competitive game like that, and you know you could be doing better, but the game is holding you back. And it was just not a great experience. I've played it recently. Other nights have not been that bad. That was the worst online I've done so far in Halo. That first hour was like, I couldn't get anything going. It just wasn't responsive, man. So anyway, that'll be Thursday night, and hopefully it'll go better. Maybe I'll have a whole night where it's actually good. On Friday, it's going to be Sniper Elite 4. That is correct, everyone. I am actually going to check out Sniper Elite 4 as a main gameplay stream this coming Friday. Now, this is an experimental stream. What I mean by that is that basically we're going to try this game out as a main stream, and we're going to see if it's any good and to see if you guys like it. If we play it and it ends up being boring and it doesn't do so well and people's feedback is meh, then we don't have to play it ever again. But this is a game that I played during my Game Pass stream last week. You guys seem to really like it, so let's try it. Let's try it as a main stream, and let's see if it works out. Okay? All right. And then Friday night, of course, is Street Fighter. Over the course of the weekend, there will also be another Game Pass stream. I think I'm going to do it Saturday night, where what will happen is I'll do a poll, just like I did this last time, and that poll will be on the main channel page of DSPGaming on the community tab. It'll probably be like 3 or 4 polls of many games from Game Pass, and you guys will vote. And the games that end up being the top 2 games in the poll will be played during the Game Pass stream. And then we'll give them a shot, and we'll see if they're worth, playing as playthroughs or whatever, right? So that should be fun, too. So it's going to be a great mix this week. Skyrim, more Resident Evil, and basically the conclusion of Resident Evil, giving Sniper Elite a try, trying out this Rainbow Six game, seeing if it's any good, late night streams of Lost Judgment and Halo, and another Game Pass session in Street Fighter. Good variety of stuff this coming week. I'm feeling very great about this week. It's funny because there was a time, many years ago, before I was an interactive variety streamer, all right, when I was just making content for YouTube. And essentially what happened was I was so dependent on there always being new releases to bring in views, which would then equate to ad revenue, because that was the way that I made a living back then. That at a time like this month, like the January, no exaggeration, I would be like nervous. I would actually have a big dip in viewership because in January there's no new releases. And on top of that, ad revenue on YouTube is terrible on January. It's the worst of the year because all those ads that were out for the holiday season are all gone. And YouTube, I hate to say it, is terrible at selling ad space early on in the year. They just are. They do a terrible job at it. So with not much to advertise, if your entire business and living is based off of ad revenue on YouTube, January is a bad month because there's no new games to play, right? So you can't really bring new attention to the channel. You can't get an increase in viewership. In fact, your viewership dips dramatically from over the holidays. And then on top of that, the ad revenue is bad. So this used to be a time of the year when I'd be incredibly nervous. I'd be like, man, I got to try to find stuff to really attract people in January. And sometimes it would work and sometimes it wouldn't. All right. But now things are so different. Now it's like, wow, January, I could just chill out, have a good time with you guys, play fun games, whatever we want. It doesn't even matter. Like, no pressure. Because I'm get consistent attendance on my streams. I get consistent support. This is awesome. Like the first 2 weeks of this year so far have been nothing but positive, man. Seriously, like, I have zero complaints. We're having a great time together. I'm enjoying the streams. Everything's fine. So thank you guys for that, really. Thank you for allowing me to basically have the ability to have fun with games. This is my hobby as well as my job, and not have that nervousness factor because we're all good, man. This is excellent. That's a great sign. It's a great sign when you have a viewership who are they're going to come by and they're going to support and they're going to interact and they're going to have a good time no matter what you're doing. Because that means, yes, in some cases, there's people who will come by just for the game I'm playing. But in a lot of cases, people coming by just to chill with me. I appreciate that. I love this every day. Like, doing this with you guys is so much fun. So thank you to those who come by and support no matter what I'm doing, because you're basically kind of the how can I say, the foundation. You are the foundation of what is DSP Gaming. You see what I'm saying? Without the people who come by every day, no matter what I'm playing, to chill and support, I wouldn't be able to do the big variety of stuff that I do. I'd be just like I was back in the day, where I was always constantly nervous. If there's no new releases, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? And I don't like being like that, honestly. I want to come to stream and just feel relaxed and have fun with you guys and not feel a big pressure, right? And, you know, I feel like when you have pressure on you, it hinders the experience overall, too. You can tell I might be a little grumpy or whatever. Today, I ain't going to be grumpy. I'm going to be having a good time with you guys at Skyrim. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Alright, so guess what? That being said, a few quick things, housekeeping things to cover. And then after that, once again, I'm going to open up the PreStream podcast to Q&A. And what I mean by that is, I'm just going to have a conversation with you guys. Because today, there really is no... It's a loud, low-flying plane. There really is no game news. I'm not shocked. I think we will have some more game news coming up shortly, because we are finally almost to February. And as we get to February, you're going to have all the early reviews for the million games coming out in February and all the hype around them and all that jazz is coming. But as of right now, there's really not a heck of a lot going on in the realm of gaming news. So, let's just do a few quick housekeeping things. Excuse me. And then let's chat it up. All right, so housekeeping stuff. Number one, take a look at the members goal, for my friends. We are very close, number one, to hitting the record for the channel. The most members we've ever had here on DSP Gaming was 334, and that was last month. Okay? If we hit 350 members by the end of this month, which is very doable, okay? Great marathon. It'll be a Game Pass marathon where all day long I'll be checking out games on Game Pass from our list that we made last week. Plus, not only will I be checking out like 4 or 5 great new games, but also we'll be doing a Feasting with the King special edition episode for the live stream, where I order some kind of a new cuisine that I never had before, and we try it out together live. You guys really like that show, right? So, awesome, and I can't wait. I hope that we can do it. I mean, we only need 21 members. That's it. That's not a lot. Right now on stream, there's 274 people watching. How many of you are not members? If you're not a member of DSP Gaming right now, raise your hand like this. Okay? Is your hand up? Is it raised if you're not a member? Now what I want you to do is look at that hand and say, what's going on, man? Why aren't I a member? No, I'm just kidding. If you become a member, you get all these benefits, right? Highlighted name in chat. You don't have to abide by the slow mode rules. Access to all the emotes of the channel. A cool chat crown badge to show how long you've been a supporter. Priority when it comes to getting your questions answered on my Q&A show every two months, Ask the King, plus other things. So please consider becoming a member. Obviously, I'm not saying you have to. What I'm saying is it's a big benefit to become a member of the channel, right? And there's cool rewards coming if we hit it. What I'd really like to do is hit the new record. I mean, we could do that today. We only need 5 members, and we'll tie. 6 members today, we'll hit the new record. That's awesome. So please consider becoming a member, all right? Also, remember, guys, I'm a crowdfunded individual. Listen to this idiot, first of all, it's trying to make fun of me. He says, I think the subscriber count is glitched. It's been stuck at 195,000 for the last 10 years. Wrong. First of all, you're banned, and that's completely incorrect. Actually, the counter was around between 180 to 185,000 for like 5+ years. That's absolutely true, because the last time that I actually paid any attention to DSP Gaming was that long ago. For 5+ years, I was a live streamer who just didn't care about the channel. In the not even year, I think I became a full-time streamer here in May. It went from like down from like 179, 180 all the way up to 195 and growing. If you actually look at the channel, it's consistently getting more subs every single month, which is great. And I want to keep that growth up. Like I told you guys, my goal for this year is to hit 200,000 subscribers by my birthday, the first week of April. That would be outstanding if we could do that. And I feel like next month, with all the new releases coming out, like there's 5 or 6 major high-profile new releases. We're gonna get a lot of new eyes on the channel. We're gonna get people who maybe haven't watched the content in a long time, who are gonna be coming and subscribing. So thanks for being wrong. Anyway, continuing on here, guys. Please remember that I am a crowd-funded individual. What that means, I don't have any sponsorships. I don't have any partnerships. No one pays me to stream. I'm not a shill. I am a real human, here to share my live gameplay experiences with all of you and have a great social time. Lots of fun discussion, interaction, and just a chill vibe, right? That being said, because I'm not a paid advertiser like a lot of full-time content creators are, I rely on you guys to make a living. It's your crowdfunding during the streams that allow me to keep doing this. So if you like the content, please consider contributing in one of the following ways. You can become a channel member like I already mentioned. You can do a super chat or a super sticker, which are ways to contribute to YouTube and get you a highlighted message in the chat. Or you could do a tip, okay? Now, tips are still the best way to contribute because, number one, I get a tip right away. Number two, I get more of a tip than other contribution methods. However, the other contribution methods are great because they're more consistent. I get to see steady income from those, as opposed to tips can fluctuate like crazy. One day I can get a lot of tips and one day I get none, right? Not that I would get none, or, you know what I'm saying. It's completely not a level kind of thing. But because tips are so important to the channel, they're basically the way that I afford things. Like, for example, I'll give you a perfect example. Tomorrow I'm going on my day off. I got to go to the dump. Your tips are going to pay for that. I got to go grocery shopping. Your tips are going to pay for that, you see? So, that being said, if you tip me today, I'm gratefully appreciative of it. I'll give you a shout out. And because tips are so important, we have reward tiers in effect. If you raise $50 of tips today, I'll put on a pair of Gunner glasses in celebration. If you raise $100 of tips, you guys get to vote on a hat for me to wear. Now, yesterday, I wore the Pikachu hat, right? Yes, yesterday was the Pikachu hat. That's right. So today, the hats that would be eligible for today's stream would be the cowboy hat, the pilot hat, the fake hair hat, and the Deadpool hat. Okay? Those would be the ones eligible. Now, if we happen to hit the full tip goal of $150 today, I'll put on a vest of your choice. And since we did not do that at all yesterday, all vests will be eligible that you guys like the most, including we'll do the red, the platinum, the denim, and the gold. Okay? Those will be the 4 vests eligible today. So, there we go. That's what's going on, my friends. Yes, people have said, why don't you get some new hats? Why don't you get some Viking helmet or something? I definitely like to do that. I think it's a good idea. I think what we can do is over time we can talk maybe about some silly hats that can be added to my streams. I think like a Viking style hat is a good one. What I would say is if you guys could find anything good online, right? Let's say you find, oh, here's a good one for cosplaying or whatever, and it's not expensive. You know, give me, send it my way. I'll give it a look. Okay, so anyway, thank you in advance for any contributions. I am going to do shout-outs in just a moment. Because like I said, what I'm going to do is I'm going to open the stream up to Q&A. But I do shout-outs first for your contributions. And then we get to that. So, all right. Let's get started. So, our first super chat of the day is from Zoya, who says, how do you deal with the hate from mainstream gaming? Huh? How do I deal with hate from mainstream gaming? What does that even mean? Mainstream games hate on me? Really? Man, I really hated it the other day. I was playing God of War, and Kratos kept talking about how Darkseid Phil's the worst content creator. It really got my goat. You know, when Lara Croft was watching DSPGaming, she said it sucked ass. If you could rephrase, he says, all the mainstream journalists and fans, etc. What? The mainstream journalists and fans don't know who I am. I'm not that... Zoya, you may not realize this. I'm not that popular of a guy. At one point, I was very popular on YouTube. That was over 10 years ago. Like, I would say the years that I was most prominent and I was actually well known as a gaming content creator on YouTube. Of course, they didn't call it that back then. They just called it a YouTuber. Oh, Jade, what's going on? Good to see you back. He says he's back from the casino. He won $151. You came up a winner. Wow. You want to talk about beating the odds? Jade went to the casino and won money. Wow. Well, Jade, now would be the time. Go buy a lotto ticket Because if you can win money at the casino and come back with more money than you went with, you are right now. You might check your butt. You might have accidentally sat on top of like a leprechaun or something. And he's stuck there. You might have a 4-leaf clover stuck in your ear. Holy crap. Anyway, welcome back. Anyway, getting back to what I was saying. Over 10 years ago, the years that I was most prominent on YouTube, I would say probably the years 2009 and 2010 were my formative years where a lot of people were getting to know me. They were watching me play Street Fighter 4. They watched me play games like Heavy Rain. And that stuff gave me a lot of mainstream attention, and people really liked my content. But at that point, I was the underdog. I was making $0 putting out gameplay content. It wasn't even monetizable back then, okay? It wasn't until 2011 I got my partnership with Machinima. And I started monetizing my content, right? I started getting ads on my videos, and I started making a living doing it. And I would say 2011 and 2012 were probably, arguably, the years where I had the most mainstream attention on YouTube. People knew me as a top guy. Whenever a new game came out, DSPGaming was featured as the prominent one of the top channels. Like I would say top 20 channels for gameplay on YouTube. Everyone knew who I was back then. People referenced me constantly. Other content creators had actually come out and said that they were inspired by me and my content to make content themselves. Okay? Things change over time, though. And my style of, I almost call it like guerrilla style, because there was no professionalism to it. Having a camera pointed at your TV, yelling at the camera, it sounds like you're in a cave. You know, it had its popularity, and it definitely was a gimmick, but at the same time, it didn't have longevity. People wanted advancement. They wanted to see better quality, right? They wanted to see direct capture, live streaming, and I was slow to adopt that. And on top of that, then This Is How You Don't Play movement started, where it became fashionably cool to meme against Darkside Phil in a negative way. So yeah, I don't think I've had anything like that, like mainstream appeal or anyone talking about me in the mainstream for a very long time. Zoya did another super chat saying, I mean people like PewDiePie and YouTubers being mean. See what I mean? But here's the thing. I don't think that those YouTubers genuinely are trying to be mean. I think that they're trying to meme. They're not being mean. They are trying to meme. Meaning they're trying to jump on a bandwagon of something that everyone repeats to be recognizable to the public. Right? And it actually became prominent on YouTube at one point, many years ago, to hate on Darkside Phil, to crap on him, to say he sucks, to say he did something bad, or, you know, that just became a popular thing to do. Today, it's played out. No one really fucking cares about that shit anymore. But back then, a decade ago, it was like, haha, I made the Darkside Phil joke. And everyone did it. Like, seriously, everyone fucking did it. You see? I don't personally think that these people who have made jokes about me over the years were trying to actually intentionally be really malicious and mean to me. No. You want to know who did that? The people who stole my content and literally made it their agenda on YouTube to make 100 videos that are all slanderous bullshit. That's different than someone who every once in a while is making a negative reference about me, you see? Or a joke at my expense, right? So I wouldn't worry too much about that. All right, let's get to the tips. We start off with Papa Lou tipping $20 saying, here's to the king of cock. Great. Thanks, Papa Lou. Now, by the way, there's no way this is the real Papa Lou from like 5+ years ago. For those who don't know, there was a guy named Papa Lou who used to come to my streams many years ago, around the time when I was actually playing Super Mario Sunshine on the GameCube. It was the it was the GameCube version emulated on the Wii. And he used to come by and say some really weird shit, Phil, you're my dad and shit like that. And he was very distracting to the streams, to the point where people would meme about him. He became like a running meme about the streams. And all of a sudden, he just vanished. And he never came back. But over the years, some people have impersonated him and tried to pretend like they're him. This person in particular sounds like one of them. So thank you for the $20 tip, but you are not Papa Lou. I don't believe you. I think you're a liar. There you go. Lucifer Soul did a $10 tip and says, get Jasper some treats. Thank you, Lucifer Soul. I got to think about what we need this week. If we need any. Actually, you know what? Jasper actually does need treats this week. I'm not even kidding. He's running low. Every day we give him one treat in the morning, a wet treat. And what it is usually chunks of meat with a broth. And he drinks all the broth, And every once in a while, he'll eat a few pieces of the meat, but he's not the kind of cat that'll eat big chunks of meat. He prefers dry food. But he will lick the wet juice out of anything we give him. And actually, he's low on treats. We're getting him treats tomorrow. So thank you very much. Life for Soul, your $10 tip may literally buy Jasper treats tomorrow. There you go. Life for Soul also did another $4.20 tip. He says, I sometimes sprinkle catnip on my cat food. He can feel groovy while I hit my stizzy pen. Well, there you go. It's pretty funny that they put catnip in everything. Like, they have all kinds of catnip treat, catnip toy, catnip. It's like, every once in a while, we'll give Jasper catnip, but not often. Like, you're like giving him a drug. You're zonking him out, right? Why people think it's okay to do that to their pet constantly, I don't know. Like I said, every once in a while is a rare thing for him to get some enjoyment. We'll do it, but you don't do it all the time, man. You don't want him fucking rolling around high constantly. It's ridiculous. Ice Poseidon tipped me $1.50, and he says, he. Hey, dude, curious, why do you think Smash will ever get the true love from the fighting game community, or do you think most fighting game fans always see it as a hybrid-type fighting game and do the arm thing? I have no idea what you're talking about, do the arm thing, so I can't do it, because I don't know what it is. But all I can tell you is from my perspective, from back in the day, when Smash actually originally was added to EVO, okay? So back then, I apologize because I got a piece of dead skin on my thumb. It's been bothering me the whole pre-stream. I'm trying to get it off and it's not working. Anyway, back in the day, in the 2000s, when EVO was becoming more prominent, and every fighting game now wanted to be featured at EVO because it really was the nationals for fighting game tournaments in the United States. They considered it the big tournament. Kind of like you have the World Series for baseball, the Super Bowl for American football, and there's multiple things for soccer or football in the world. Like, isn't there the World Cup? There's other stuff too. So whatever the big sporting event is for a sport, that's what EVO was to fighting games in the United States. Okay? So everyone wanted to be in on this. And Smash Brothers wanted in. The Smash Brothers community. But a lot of people were very resistant to it. And I feel there was two major reasons why. The first reason is because when you think competitive fighting games, you think arcades, right? And what games were an arcade? Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, Tekken, Virtua Fighter, Guilty Gear, King of Fighters. Those are the kind of games you think about playing in a video arcade, right? And so back then, oh wait, but Smash Brothers is console only. It's only ever been on N64 and GameCube. And why would we want a game like that at EVO? It's not a serious fighting game since it's never had an arcade stand-em-up machine, so it's not a competitive game. You see, that's number one. Number two, let's be honest here. Yeah, at its core, Smash is not meant to be a competitive fighting game. It's meant to be a party game. I mean, literally, that's what it is. It's a party game. In order to make it a competitive fighter, you have to enter in a series of criteria, like play on a certain stage, limit the use of certain items, this, that. You have to enforce rule sets to make it a competitive fighter. By the way, I'm not saying that doesn't mean it's not a competitive fighter at all. I think it is with those rule sets in place, but the point I'm making is, you know, the other games that had always been at EVO were always games that were designed to be competitive. No, you know what I mean? Like, Street Fighter was not a party game. Street Fighter was supposed to be one-on-one, head-up competition. May the best man win. Let's duke it out in the arcades. That's what it was supposed to be. While Smash was, oh, have a bunch of your friends come over and everyone just mashes buttons, beats the shit out of each other with Nintendo characters, right? There you go. So that being said, there was a lot of resistance. And I remember when Smash first got added to EVO, everyone was joking and pranking and trolling and basically making fun of EVO and saying, wow, you guys are all about the money because that is not a fighting game. Then years later, right? Then it ends up being one of the most prominent fighting games, at least for a while. Now, the Smash community, of course, has its own set of problems and issues outside of the competitive FGC that, sadly, I feel have kind of brought the games a little bit out of prominence recently, which sucks. If your game fails or a game falls out of prominence, you want it to do it on the game's merits, not on the merits of the assholes who act like shitheads in the community and fucking make everyone look bad, right? Right. You don't want... Same thing with content creation. We're all here having a good time, enjoying games or doing whatever we're doing, our own thing. And then one asshole does something stupid, says something dumb, and next thing you know, oh my God, all content creators are racists and bigots and no, that's not all of us. It's just one dick. That just shouldn't be representative of everybody, you know. But it is what it is. And yeah, you know, Smash has gotten a lot of issues over the years, I think, because of the behavior of the people in their community, not because of the games themselves, okay? So will Smash ever get true love from the fighting game community? I think Smash is its own thing. I think that Smash is kind of its own entity. You know what I'm saying? It's popular, yes. Is it valid as a competitive fighter with rules in place? Yes. But man, I don't think it's ever been designed or treated like a mainstream fighting game from the get-go. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's nice to have a byproduct of it be that it's competitive and it's part of competitive circles. But I don't know if we're ever going to see it, like, majorly featured as, wow, the competitive game of the year is Smash and shit like that. You know what I mean? Only because at its core, it's not designed that way. And because of that, maybe you will almost never see full mainstream approval for Smash. Personally, I think it's fun, and I like watching Smash as well. When you watch a competitive Smash match, it can be pretty impressive. At the same time, I'm not a crazy competitive guy in fighting games anymore, so I really don't care either way, you know. President Biden has tipped me $1.50 talking about being a U.S. citizen and COVID shots. That's political, and we don't talk about that, Biden. So, sorry, Biden. Thanks for the tip, but no thanks. Ice Poseidon did another $1.50 tip. Said, the irony about the FGC and Smash Brothers is that literally Ryu, Ken, Terry, Kazuya, and several other fighting game characters are now in the game. You're absolutely right. How funny is it that the game that was most resisted to be in the competitive fighting game circles now has guest characters from almost every competitive fighting game, right? Pretty funny. We got a super chat from Martin Payne. He says, what do you call a factory that makes okay products? A satisfactory. What do cows most like to read? Catalogs. Darkside Phil has cookies. I do not have cookies. I wish I did. I do not have delicious cookies. Thank you, Martin, for the super chat. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we can now open up chat to questions. I've gotten through all the shout-outs so far, so we can now have some open Q&A with the chat. But as we're about to do that, since now we've hit the 47-minute mark for the PreStream podcast, thanks to everyone who's here. We now have over 300 viewers. If you're here and you're chilling and you're having a good time, please give the stream a like. That interaction is called engagement. It gives the stream prominence in YouTube search rankings. So when I actually start playing Skyrim, people will be here. It's, oh, open world, RPG, Elder Scrolls. Oh, search, DSPGaming's playing Skyrim. Let me go check them out. That literally happens more often when you like the stream. So please give it a like if you're enjoying it. Same thing if you're watching this video on demand on YouTube and you're having a good time. Please like it and leave a comment. That engagement helps the video on demand. Okay, let's see what people want to talk about. Go ahead, ask me questions. And by the way, tag me. You have to tag me so I can see the questions. There you go. Ray Richards, see you later. Third Nostril says, I'd say you're 99% crowdfunded since you have kickback from YouTube ads. Would you ever remove ads if you're maintaining a certain yearly tip goal, or is it a nice passive income? It's an okay passive income. I would not be able to just make solely a living on ad revenue. Even if I tried really, really, really hard, there's no way I'd be able to make a living just on ad revenue. Ad revenue completely plummeted on YouTube in the year 2017 to the point where it was less than half of what it had been like the week before. There was a actual adpocalypse. That's not just like a meme or something people made up. It literally in 1 week, everyone's revenue went from here to way down here who relied on ad revenue. And it never came back. It just always has stayed down here, and it's never going to recover because of the nature of the way that ads are on YouTube these days. But it's still supplementary. It's a nice supplementary income during the months of like November, December. Typically, it's actually really good. And then for the rest of the year, it's kind of like, meh, it's there, but it's not great. All right. So could I turn off ads completely? Yeah, but I'd be shooting myself in the foot. By the way, keep in mind, I'm a content creator who's made videos on this channel since 2010. 12 years of videos that have ads on them. Now, a lot of those videos over the years have been claimed for content ID or, you know, no ad, oh, not suitable for ads and bullshit like that. So no, not every time you watch a video on YouTube, I'm not necessarily making money. But with the sheer amount of videos I have on this channel, okay, the body of work I've done, yes, there is residual income that comes in. A day when I'm not working, I still make some money. Not a lot, but I still make some money because I get residual income from the ads, you see. If I turned off ads completely, yeah, I would be shooting myself in the foot. That's revenue that helps overall with this business. I mean, I would have to grow pretty exponentially large to say I could just forego that income and not have to worry about it. Okay. Let's see here. Leo Cura says, do I think exclusives are good for gamers? Depends. I don't think there's anything wrong with them. As long as it is possible to actually get your hands on it. Like right now, if there's a PS5 exclusive and you can't buy a PS5, that sucks ass. But I definitely see the benefit, both to gamers and to game studios. Like, you know, a game studio having an exclusive on their console means they could really hone in on the design of that game and how it performs on the console and make it run great. Which is why it's absolutely hilarious when you get an exclusive like that Assassin's Creed game years ago on PS4 that was a PS4 exclusive and it ran like shit. It's like, what the fuck were they thinking there? You know? But there definitely can be benefits. I mean, obviously, there's detriments. If you don't have the console that it's exclusive to, you're kind of boned, right? Jeremy Kyle, no, I'm not considering playing Ultra Street Fighter 4 on Friday night. I never was. I never said I was. No, we have no snow here. It is cool outside and cloudy, but no precipitation at all here right now. Shout out to Barrel Shroud, who re-upped his membership for 9 months. What do you think about competitive VR? Good or no? Competitive VR? I don't know what you mean by that. VR is a gimmick that definitely adds a unique first-person perspective to games. And I've played it. I had PSVR at launch. I thought it was a cool gimmick for about 2 months, and then it completely wore out, and I didn't care about it ever again. Then I became an interactive streamer, and I was like, there's no way I could even do it anyway, even if I wanted to. Because now on my streams, I need to read stream chat and talk with you guys. You can't do that with VR. So I really don't care about VR at all. I don't know what you mean by competitive VR, though. Bernie Sanders to the $1.50. And he's talking about wearing his mittens and sitting in a comfy chair. Thanks a lot, Bernie, for the tip. Okay. Let's see what else people have to say here. Simple Bubble says, I'm literally one of the OGs of YouTube history. It makes me underrated because the lack of people understanding real content from a real one like me. Do I agree? I actually don't care. I just do my thing. I'm serious. Like, since day one, when I started making content on YouTube, it was never about getting recognition. It was never about getting popular. It was just about chilling in games, having a great time, and sharing those experiences with you guys and being genuine. And that's it. You'll notice I'm not a shill. I've never, ever kissed butt to make $1. And I never will. That's not me. That's like the antithesis of Phil, is to kiss butt to make $1. That's why you won't see me do it. And I've suffered greatly because of it. My content style is very different from a lot of other people who, oh, I play a game and it's a paid advertisement. Oh, look at all the crap I posted on my Twitter today. It's all paid advertisement. And I'm making tons of bank on it. I've told you guys, when I'm on Twitter and I see a content creator, hashtag ad, and the post is literally just an ad for something, I block them. I never want to see them ever again. That's not someone who's genuine. That's someone who literally does this for money and doesn't care about the quality of the content besides making money on it. So that's it. That's me. That's been my thing, you know. What's my favorite chicken place? Why is it Chick-fil-A? Arguably, if you're talking about just chicken, then yeah, probably Chick-fil-A is. Like, I'm thinking about it. Like, where else would I go just for chicken? Like, I like barbecue chicken. So there's like a place that's a barbecue place. For example, Famous Dave's has a really good slow roast barbecue chicken. There used to be actually a place called Claim Jumper that had barbecue chicken on a rotisserie, which was amazing. And then when COVID hit, they shut down the rotisserie and never reopened it. It's been 2 years. And that sucked because that rotisserie chicken was one of the favorite things I got when I went out to eat with my wife. And now they don't fucking have it anymore. But today, if I was just going out for craving chicken, I probably would get a big chicken sandwich from Chick-fil-A. That's correct. Okay. Only fear of death says, if you ran out of coffee and tried to work. It recently happened to me and I felt dead. Yeah, I've run out of, like, if I need caffeine or something, I don't have it. And you're like, oh, fuck, you got to still tough through the day. That's happened to me. I think it happens to everyone. Jones J says, Chick-fil-A is incredibly overrated, in my opinion. I've only had one thing from Chick-fil-A, the spicy chicken sandwich and the waffle fries. The 3 times I was there, I got it, because the first time I got it, it was so fucking good. I was like, I'm just going to get this forever. And I literally did. I just kept getting it. But I haven't been to Chick-fil-A again in like 2 years. COVID screwed everything up. Like right before COVID, my wife and I had places we like to go, things we like to do. COVID just destroyed everything. Like half the stuff we used to do is gone, or they just don't do it anymore. And we just don't frequently do this stuff. Like now, half the time when we have a day off, we just stay home. Oh, let's see here. Batman tipped $1.50. So what's your opinion on upcoming movie being PG-13? I was trying to be super dark this time around, and I still didn't get rated R. You know, here's the thing. You can still be really dark and grim and be PG-13. The Tim Burton Batman movies are PG-13, and they're dark as shit. There's blood in them, there's gore, there's really adult themes, and they're PG-13. So as long as it's done well, PG-13's fine. I think people wanted an R rating because they really felt that it was time for the grittiest Batman possible. We really want to get down into the shit this time. Really. I want Batman punching the Joker's nuts so hard they rupture, right? I want to see him take the Penguin and clap his ears, and the pressure in his head is so strong his eyeballs pop out of his fucking head. They want Mortal Kombat Batman or something. I don't know. But anyway, I think it'll be fine as PG-13 as long as the director does a good job. So, hopefully he does a good job, right? Jordy, Rich, and Dale tipped $1.50. Said, hey, Phil, super random. Would you ever go clean shaven and cut your hair low like back in the day, or was that a style for when you were younger? When you saw me in my first few years as a content creator, meaning like the years of 2009 through late 2010, about the first 2 years, all right, I had a crew cut. I had no facial hair at all, or it would grow out and I would immediately shave it all off. And I was way heavier than I am today. Like today, I'm probably like between 200 and 215 pounds, and I probably fluctuate in that range constantly. And I know, yes, I know I could lose some weight. My ideal weight is probably between 185, 190. So yeah, I'm considered overweight. Big fucking deal, right? I'm a realist here. But back in the day, no exaggeration, I was weighing around almost 240 pounds. Like, that was gross overweight. You're talking like 40, 50 pounds overweight, okay? And I looked very different. I absolutely looked very different in those early videos, all right? Then when I lost my job by getting laid off, and I decided that I was going to try to do full-time content creation, I said, I need a whole refreshing. So I grew my hair out for the first time in many, many years, and I grew a beard. And I started trimming it and all of that, right? So that being said, excuse me, seltzer water. That being said, since then, I've just stayed looking like that. Now, the thing is, I don't look the same. For example, back then, my beard used to grow way more full and bushy and dark. Now, my beard is thinned out a little bit, and it's all white hairs. Like, it's literally, the whole beard is white. So that's why you look at my beard now, you're like, Phil, I can barely see it. It's because it's white. It's not because it's not there. It's definitely there. It's just white. You can't see the fucking beard anymore. If I grew it out, all you would see is gray or white. It wouldn't look dark anymore. It's funny because, you go back and watch Project 7 from 2012, 10 years ago, and it was big. It's a big, bushy, dark-ass, goatee, and even if I grew it out, it wouldn't look like that anymore. It would look dramatically different, you see? Would I ever go back to looking like that? I mean, if there was a reason to, I don't see there being a reason to. I like looking like this. My wife really likes how I look. And I've asked her many times over the years, would you like me to change this or change that? And she says, no, just stay how you are. I like how you are. So, there you go. Okay. Chicken Man says, what's your go-to place for chicken wings? I don't have a go-to place for chicken wings. You want to know why? Because I don't like chicken wings. I don't like food that's overly messy or is too much work to eat. I feel chicken wings is way too little meat for the work it takes to make it, to eat it, because it's so messy. And by the way, not saying that I've never had chicken wings. When I used to live in New Haven, Connecticut, there was a bar that I used to go to with my coworkers, and they had pretty good chicken wings, a good hot sauce. They had a few different flavors. You get a beer and a thing of chicken wings for a decent price. You sit there eating them. It's a good time. But I just don't like it. If I'm going to go out to eat, give me a meal, ready to go, clean, eat it, delicious, and I'm not fucking covering my entire body and face with the fucking sauce and shit. And also, it's worth the value. Like, you buy a thing of chicken wings, you're eating mostly skin. You're barely getting any meat. And then it's a pain in the ass to eat it because you got to fucking eat around the bones and shit. Fuck that. So here's how you end. Chicken wings. Fuck that. There you go. That's my take on chicken wings. My day is good today, DC. Thank you for asking. Jasper's doing good today. Just so you guys know, my cat is home. She's on her day off from work today. So Jasper will not be in the office. He'll be spending time with her today. Just so you know, I know he's been around a lot recently, but he won't be in the office today. Okay. Madara's God says, interesting topic. I see a lot of debate around if Disney should recast the Black Panther. Rest in peace, Chadwick Boseman, by the way. What are your thoughts on that? Oh, man. See, I feel like there is a lot of resistance these days to recasting roles that are prominent, recurring roles. And Chadwick played Black Panther not only in his own movie, but then he played him in Captain America. He played him in Infinity War series. So I can understand the resistance when he's known to be the character, right? Take a look at the Batman movies from the 1980s and 90s. You got Michael Keaton, who played Batman in the original and then in Batman Returns. Then you get Val Kilmer in Batman Forever, and then George Clooney in Batman and Robin. And if you watch those movies back to back, the first two movies completely make sense. They feel like it's an ongoing plot. Once you start watching Batman Forever, it gets confusing because it's like some characters are the same, some aren't, some have been recast, some haven't, and it gets like, you get really confused. You start scratching your head and you're like, this is confusing, man. Like, why are some characters different and others not? Is it supposed to be the same plot line, or is this a reimagining of Batman? The movie definitely feels different because it's Joel Schumacher. It's not Tim Burton anymore, making and directing the movie. And then the last one, Batman and Robin, it feels like a comedy. Batman and Robin, literally, it looks like you're watching a modern-day live-action version of the old Batman television show that was campy, the one with Adam West and Burt Ward. It feels campy as shit just like that. So you watch those movies, and with the recasting and the redirection, they feel completely disjointed and kind of messy, you see? So, when you tell me I want to recast Chadwick Boseman, okay, but if you recast him, can you get someone who that will play the character similarly, so at least it feels like it's the same character? Can you get someone, and can the director keep it in the same vein as the previous movies? Or are you going to get a new actor, and now all of a sudden, the whole tone of the movie changes? Now Black Panther is either super duper serious, like, oh my god, it's like the most serious dark movie ever made. Or on the flip side of that, now it's Guardians of the Galaxy. It's all comedy, right? You see what I'm saying? Like, I think they could recast it. They could, but they would have to do a really good job finding someone who feels like Chadwick Boseman in the role and keeping the tone of the movies the same, right? So, there you go. That's my take on it. Biohazard Fallout says, what TV shows would I recommend? What shows am I watching right now? I'm not watching anything. I'm not watching anything right now that you guys are going to know or care about. Right now, we've been watching a vet show. What's it called? It's like Dr. K's Exotic Animal Rescue Show or something, where we're watching all these rare animals coming into a vet and getting treated. And it's cute to see the animals, but then you learn about their physiology and stuff. That's literally what we've been watching for a few weeks since Christmas ended, you know? That's the kind of stuff we watch. We don't watch these ongoing dramas or anything like that. So, we're not in the know about that stuff. Okay. Only fear of death is, do I think that guard breaking is a broken mechanic in MVC2? In a nutshell, what guard breaking is in MVC2, Marvel vs. Capcom 2, you hit an enemy enough while they're in a blocking state that their block releases, and now you can hit them and they can't do anything about it. It only really works when you're in the air. Like if the character is jumping in the air and you hit them enough times while they're in the air, eventually their guard will break and then you can just hit them with a combo. I think the reason they did it is because if you had infinite blocking in Marvel vs. Capcom 2, literally people could jump around the screen blocking the entire time and never get hit. They'd only get chip damage. If you had someone who was so good at blocking, you're like, what are you going to do? You see? So I think they did it on purpose. But the thing is, it's only implemented at a very high gameplay level. Normal people playing the game will never even know guard breaking exists. It's only for people who are at the top tournament levels. I think it's fine. Super Blimp did a super chat. Says, when do you think Elder Scrolls 6 will come out? Super late. I don't think it's coming out anytime soon. They're working on Starfield, and then they're probably working on Elder Scrolls 6, and then the next Fallout after that. Which is a shame. I really wish that studio would work on more than one game at a fucking time, because, man, it takes too long for their games to come out. We're probably talking many, many years. We're probably talking at least 3 to 4 more years, I would guess. I'm not even exaggerating. I think we're going to be waiting that long. Lives of Result of $1.50 says, I used to wear Batman undies when I was a toddler. I will forever love Batman. My favorite being Ben Affleck. There you go. My favorite is Michael Keaton, for sure. Michael Keaton Batman for life. For life. Okay. Gut says you're doing pretty good with the members goal. We're almost to the retrospective event. I mean, we are, but the thing is, it's very slow. Like, we're at 329 today. It would be great to get a few more, but there's no guarantee. And some days we're completely stagnant and we get nothing, and then it goes down a few, which sucks. You know, if we could get a few members, just a few members a day, seriously, we get 2 or 3 members a day, we would be at this goal within a week. But I don't know what to do to convince people to join and become a member. Everyone seems to be of the impression that there's so much less benefit to being a member here than there was over on Twitch. And it's like, I can't help you with that. I can't make YouTube beat Twitch. I wish I could. They're claiming they're doing all these improvements this year and have done none so far. You know, all I can tell you is becoming a member, you get a lot of benefits. You help this channel directly and concretely, man. That's all I can really say. DC says, here's a no haiku to enjoy. Remember when Phil would see a joke, he'd zoom in his camera, then say no? No. I don't remember that. Actually, the reason I don't do it anymore is because the camera now has to be sized for this show. So, for example, the way I used to do it, I'd be over here playing a game like this. The camera would be 4:3, so it would fit over here in my webcam border. And then someone would say something, I would click over and say, no, just like that. But the difference now is, since I do the PreStream podcast every day and you guys want it widescreen HD, now it's this aspect ratio. So the only way I could really get that to work would be, once the PreStream podcast is done, to literally turn off everything and then zoom in on the camera, or setting up a whole new feed. Okay? A whole different new feed to get that to work in OBS. Let me put it this way. I could do it, but it would take some effort. And as you know, I'm a lazy bum and I don't have any effort on my streams. Or at least that's what a lot of people like to say. No, the truth is that I don't think that it was a huge amount of added, value to the streams to do it. But when I started doing the PreStream podcast, it wasn't set up to just do it easily anymore, so I stopped doing it. But could, if you want it. We could just add another tab to OBS and just put it in there and have it zoom in. I don't think about it. You know what I mean? Easy Peasy 91 says, what's your favorite cuisine or food you mostly go for? I love Mediterranean diet myself. The thing is, I'm the opposite of that. Even though there's things I like. For example, I'm Italian. So I love pasta. I love pizza, right? Italian-style cuisine. A burger, I could go for a big, juicy burger from a good place every once in a while. And every once in a while, I could crave a McDonald's little mini cheeseburger. Actually, mini, because really, they're fucking tiny. Okay? I love barbecue. So I would like to get some ribs or some slow-cooked barbecue chicken, something like that. I like Asian food. So I would like some ramen, or maybe some teriyaki, or maybe some chicken katsu, I could go through all these different cuisines I like. But the thing is, I'm not the kind of person that wants that cuisine all the time. I'm actually the kind of person that if I have it too often, I get bored of it. If I had my favorite dish 3 times in 1 week, I would no longer want it anymore. I'd be like, man, I'm tired of it. That's how I am. So I like having things that I like and then rotating around, so that way I don't feel like it doesn't get stale. So I really don't have a favorite cuisine, because if I ate something more than a few times, I get bored of it, you see? Life for Soul to another $1.50. It says, it sounds like you need an assistant. Oh, yeah, I need an assistant. Oh. Wow. That was rousing. Anyway, yeah, I definitely need an assistant, man. I can totally go for an assistant. No. What are you talking about? Thank you for the tip, Life for Soul. I don't know what the hell you're talking about. Okay. Am I okay? I am. I was stretching. I was stretching and breathing and breathing and stretching and going. I like doing that. Do I think NFTs will replace DLC? Yes. NFTs will completely replace DLC in video games. You'll be nickel and dimed out the butt to look like an asshole. Gordon Freeman says I should bring back the animation of You Blew It with Adam Sandler. All right, ladies and gentlemen. This year, if at some point I end up getting a new PC, whether it's that, you know, someone donates one, whether it's that somehow I'm just recommended parts or whatever, however it happens, okay? If I get a new PC, it's going to run on the new Windows. And you know what that means? I can use my Stream Deck. And you know what that means? I can press buttons and have things pop up on the stream like, you blew it! Yeah. It would be that simple. I would press buttons and it would jump around different scenes. And also I'd press buttons and it would do memes and shit. I'd be able to do that. But I need to, you know, once I get the new setup, then we could do that. We have step by step, day by day, a fresh start over, a different hand to play. Only time will tell, but you know what they say. Will be better the second time around. Sounds familiar. Anyway, Maniac Cop did a super chat. His thoughts on the G4 SJW approach towards games. I don't know because, again, people keep telling me about this. They keep saying that G4 is getting in trouble for SJW liberal stuff. I don't know because I haven't seen it. I'm not watching G4. I don't watch TV at all, really. So I don't even know what you guys are talking about. I guess people are really upset with them right now. Darkside Chris, greetings. He says, greetings from Argentina. How you doing, man? Hopefully you're doing well. And having a good time over in Argentina. Sounds good. Wings of Boogie 1985 tipped me $1.50. Says, hey Phil, today I totally agree with you about NFTs. To me, it seems straight up money laundering and a scam. At least to me, it's my opinion. Personally, has anyone seen any value to NFTs in gaming yet? Maybe one day someone will be able to have a convincing argument for NFTs in gaming. Right now, it just seems like a money-making venture that adds nothing to anyone. There's zero value added besides profits for the sale. That's it. So, it's extremely hot in Argentina, says Darkside Chris. Makes sense, I guess, right? You're near the equator, right? Isn't Argentina like right near the equator? So it would be the hottest part of the planet. Pinocchio says, someone in G4 stream chat insulted the looks of one of the hosts, and she went off on a rant about how gamers are sexist. Sounds like the kind of content you want on TV. Very nice. It's freezing in the UK, says Jeremy Kyle. It's decent here. In Washington State right now, it is. I'll look it up. 41 degrees outside and actually a little foggy. We're supposed to have rain on and off a little bit over the week, but mostly in the 40s. One day it's actually going to get up to the 50s, but moderate weather, which is exactly what you expect here in Washington, which is actually why it's actually why it was so abnormal when we had all that snow and ice, because we don't usually have that kind of weather around here. We have moderate weather almost all the time, and then all of a sudden, oh my God, 4 inches of snow, and people freaked out. Right. Okay. Oh, well, someone actually just emailed me to let me know that sadly YouTube is at it again. That YouTube is, when you're watching my streams, recommends detractor restreams. Yeah, it does, because that's YouTube's algorithm. YouTube's algorithm is shit. It doesn't care about the quality of the content being put out. All it cares about is if you abuse the YouTube algorithm to get into that search over there. So if you do the clickbait title, if you do the fucked up thumbnail, if you do drama shit, shitting on someone, and you get the most toxic people possible to your content, it trends. Like I've told you guys, not my content will almost never trend on YouTube, but everyone who shits on my content always trends because they play that game. They use all those tools to get ahead because they're scumbags. They don't have content that in its own merits can actually have any value. They have to steal content and crap on other people's content to get any kind of attention for themselves because they're not creative individuals. They're shitheads. But they abuse the system to get ahead. That's why I'm telling you guys, one thing we can do. I'm dead serious about this, okay? I'm not exaggerating. I'm dead serious. If every time you watch a piece of my content, whether you just came to the live stream right now, you're watching this on demand on YouTube, if you click that like button, all right? If we all consistently remember to keep doing that, that will give this channel more prominence. Because those shitheads over there have been getting that forever. I never talked about that stuff, right? Until recently, when was I ever talking about, oh, give it a like, right? Never. I was just making the content. Didn't care about that. They've been abusing that system for fucking 100,000 years, man. So they always get the prominence, you see? So you got, again, that's the best. You want to help this channel out? You want to change that? You want to make it so eventually my content is the top shit when you search for DSPGaming and not their shit that they steal and crap all over because they're toxic fucks? You got to do that. You got to, every time I like Phil's stuff, like it. Oh man, this is a great video. Leave a comment on it. That, I'm serious. That will change the way that this channel is ranked on YouTube. Right now, I'm bottom of the barrel, man. But I could get back up there if people all work hard on remembering to do this stuff. Okay? The villain has done a super chat. Says, did you play Fist of the North Star fighting game? Oh, X-Men versus Street Fighter is broken. Laughing out loud. No, I never played it. I knew it existed. I've seen it back in the day, but I never played the actual Fist of the North Star game. Some people tried to get me into it at one point, and I never played it for some reason. I don't remember why. Okay. Thank you, RC Young. He says, I actually didn't really hear about you until like a week or two ago, and he's actually been enjoying my content, being that I'm like an OG YouTuber. And he says he doesn't feel many of those are left. No, it's not that many old school YouTubers aren't left. It's that they've changed. Most people who've been around as long as I have, I started making content on YouTube in 2008. They had to completely change who they were. If they were going to survive, they basically had to become shills. And I hate to say that because I understand, but it kind of sucks that you have to lose who you are as a content creator and completely change who you are. Like there's people who used to review technology and now they suck cucumbers, rip their shirts off, and kiss chickens, and then shill products and I'm serious. I'm not kidding. That's true. That like people have completely had to change who they are to stay any kind of pertinent on YouTube, while I've pretty much remained the same and improved for the better over the years. But you notice I don't shill. I don't do any of that shit. I don't do that stupid garbage content, the drama shit, the fucking pranks, the stunts, advertise. None of it. I don't do any of it. It's a miracle that I'm still fucking here and still doing this after like 14 years and still able to make a living doing it, because most people have that tried to stick to their roots can't. They had to change who they were over the years. And I'm lucky enough that I didn't have to. Would I ever visit Italy? What part of Italy am I from? I would love to visit Italy one day. And my not ants. Is it ancestors? The people who came before me, I can't remember the fucking right word for it, came from Foggia, Italy. Foggia. Foggia, Italy. That's where my grandfather, I believe, came from. So. Okay. All right, guys. I think it's time to end the pre-stream. Thank you for the support. Pretty great amount of support for the fact we didn't even boot the game yet. I really appreciate that. Let's get started. Sound good? Skyrim time. Awesome.